Veritas. SCP Files. Episode 89. Pairings. How do you title your little reports? The numbers, the precise wording, the endless procedural droning. It's almost charming in some quaint way. An art form in its own right, really. The art of the incident report. Far be it from me to disrespect tradition. So, Incident Report 6227 - insert tract number here. One of the new and spectacular incidents involving SCP-6227, which we have lovingly retitled Consumption. Object Class: newly recommissioned. Risk assessment level: dependent upon customer preferences. Reported by Dylan, visionary, curator, culinary provocateur, and humble representative of Are We Cool Yet? Now then, bravo, my friends at the Foundation. Truly. Your response time was impressive. Your web crawlers are tireless, relentless even. Your attention to thwarting us, thwarting me specifically, why, it was almost flattering, really. Restarting our modest pizza exhibition was rather tiresome. Although, it would have been far more inconvenient if you all hadn't paused long enough to sample the work yourselves. Reopening SCP-6227 was never about a simple delivery service. It has been a study, a reimagining of dining as participatory art. A tasting menu in which food and commentary could finally become one and the same. When you originally decommissioned the factory, it seems you assumed the matter settled. Case closed. You filed the reports, archived it away as neutralized. As far as you were concerned, the problem had been consumed and digested. But Are We Cool Yet did not reopen the shutdown business. We reopened an exhibition. Allow me to simplify things. I know how deeply you Foundation types cherish clarity, after all. Your simple minds crave numbered addenda, rote containment procedures, the ability to desperately shove every mystery into a tidy little box. Here then is my thesis, clearly laid out and as digestible as it could possibly be. I propose that we all have become a society enslaved to the star rating. If something dips below 4 stars, it is easily discarded as utterly worthless. If it earns 1, we devour it in outrage. Disgust becomes entertainment. How cleverly can we write our criticism? It's not enough if it isn't short, snappy, witty, and cutthroat. Can we consistently earn attention from the masses? Our anger becomes online currency, and our critique becomes spectacle. We rate movies, we rate meals, we even rate one another. We consume endlessly, and when our bellies and minds and hearts are full and we are satisfied, we still hesitate to grant that 5th star. Did it really earn it? Can I imagine just a teeny bit better? Would a 5-star review garner as much attention as a 1-star? What can we find to poke and prod at still, tearing through the hard work and accomplishments to find that one tiny mistake we can dramatize and bite down on? And you, Foundation, you are the most voracious consumers of all. You consume anomalies until nothing of their mystery remains. You consume suffering and convert it into documentation. You consume lives and reduce them to test results. So I wondered, what would happen if we removed the metaphor from it all? What would happen if we fed you out loud precisely what you have always consumed secretly? My design process is elegant, though one does have to know where to look. A casual tour of the factory would reveal nothing remarkable. The machines are ordinary, the workers are unremarkable. The dough, the sauce, the cheese, all perfectly mundane. Blank canvases awaiting composition. The ingredients, however, that is where the artistry begins. When you discovered the phone application for instant pizza delivery had resurfaced, you followed your standard protocols for reemergence of a technical SCP. Exactly as I expected. I knew you'd be compelled to test it all over again. Too much had changed. I redesigned the logo, the creative process, and yet the instantaneous delivery, the anomaly itself, that was the part that remained unchanged. Just enough to pique your curiosity. And so came a cautious order placed through a disposable device in a controlled testing chamber at the hands of one of your D-class subjects, waiting patiently beside a camera. Did you enjoy the new profile creation process? That was my special edition. A small flourish, really, but I believe the modern diner appreciates a personalized experience. After all, how can one craft the perfect meal without understanding the guest? Their interests, their desires, their tastes? Before placing an order, the app invites users to create a profile. Nothing intrusive, of course. Simply a bit of fun. Who doesn't love a lifestyle quiz? Favorite foods, hobbies, interests, musical preferences, and a few fun little innocent prompts. Describe your perfect evening. What memory makes you happiest? What would you change about your life if you could make anything occur? People adore filling out those sorts of things. We volunteer ourselves so eagerly, don't you find? All our data volunteered just for a little extra pat on the head. A few answers, et voila! A special map for a playfully personalized pizza. By the time they reach the checkout screen, they have already told me everything I need to know. I began simply. After all, the first order came from one of your lowly D-class subjects, and one must ease an audience as formidable as the Foundation into a new culinary experience. The first bite, after all, is merely an introduction. So I sent a charming little amuse-bouche. At its base, it was a classic margarita, though of course prepared with the finest ingredients. Fresh basil, a bright and uncomplicated tomato base, modest but fresh mozzarella, sliced garlic, and a gentle drizzle of extra virgin olive oil. And atop it all, a few choice slices of prosciutto, just as he described in one of his fond childhood memories. I crafted it myself and slid it neatly into the anomalous delivery box here in my humble factory. And pop! It appeared instantaneously, no fuss, no hassle of delivery, just hot and perfectly crisp, ready for consumption. Naturally, he rated it 5 stars, even as your ghoulish little teams were already preparing to raid and shutter the factory again. But I know you too well, Foundation. Your routines are clockwork. You had to run all the tests, chemical analysis, DNA screening, and the ever-popular behavioral observation of the unfortunate D-class. I imagine it was days of scrutiny for the poor prisoner. And when nothing happened, oh, how the orders began flooding in. Your researchers truly wasted no time. Curiosity is such a powerful influence on one's appetite. I can almost imagine the anticipation in your sterile little break rooms when you realized it was safe to eat. A junior researcher was the first of your elite to order. Her profile was delightful, positively dripping with nostalgia. Hometown memories, favorite songs, childhood comfort foods, and old friends, all carefully catalogued in that charming little questionnaire. So I adjusted the sauce accordingly. A hint of oregano, a touch of sweetness, and of course, something to truly awaken that nostalgia. I do so appreciate her providing the name of an old lover. Such a helpful little detail. Her review described the flavor as strangely familiar. One of my personal favorites, however, was a senior researcher whose profile centered around the theme of reconciliation. There was such layered emotion in his answers. Guilt, regret, the hope of one day repairing a relationship with an estranged family member. It was such a beautiful concept to work with. I thought a bolder flavor profile might awaken those feelings properly. Something richer, deeper, a sauce with real presence. And how did he describe it? Ah, yes. Remarkably complex. I was particularly proud of that one. It really is amusing to see you misunderstand the anomalous so. You research just enough to neutralize or contain, and then you pretend everything is all tidied away. I'm guessing you thought that pizza was the only thing this anomaly can teleport instantaneously. Eventually, you sent in a community order. 5 of your personnel requesting pizzas simultaneously for a shared meal. How precious. There is something profoundly disarming about communal dining. People relax when they eat together. They laugh, they talk, they forget their troubles, and sometimes they forget the absence of someone who should be sitting beside them. Such an opportunity for artistic expression. I admit, though, that particular piece may have drawn a little too much attention. When one member of your party failed to return to work, and your search teams found nothing at all to explain their sudden disappearance, and someone remembered another diner describing the flavor of their shared meal as reminiscent of an old friend. Yes, that was when the testing resumed. In hindsight, I should have expected it. I thought I would get at least a full month out of the game before you realized. But I got a little too bold too quickly. Truly, I just couldn't help myself. Didn't you enjoy it? Didn't you eat every last bite? I confess, I was disappointed when you shut my exhibition down again. After everything I prepared for you, all the care that went into each course. And I do wonder whether you ever understood the message behind it all. Likely not. The Foundation does tend to lack insight. But I just couldn't leave my work unexplained. You simply must appreciate my brilliance. You see, the entire experience was about pairing. A critic pairs beautifully with bitterness. A nostalgic diner deserves something comforting. A guilty conscience benefits from depth and richness. And those who leave 5 stars, well, they deserve something intimate. Everything was locally sourced, of course. We believe in freshness, in ethical consumption. Your profiles, your feedback, your little personality quizzes, they all shaped the final product. You might even say you helped create the menu. Perhaps the piece was simply ahead of its time. I doubt it, though. In truth, this outcome was probably inevitable. Humanity consumes endlessly, and rarely pauses to consider what it is actually rating. Those little stars people stake their satisfaction on, they feel so meaningful in the moment. 5 stars, 1 star, approval or disgust. But the stars themselves mean nothing. We all have different tastes. They are simply a convenient way to swallow something and move on. And doesn't the foundation just fit so beautifully into that culture? You call my work grotesque, yet you feed D-class to anomalies and feed amnestics to the survivors. You feed lives, tragedies, and entire human stories into your machines, grinding them down into neat little incident reports. That is consumption, my friends. You simply prefer to disguise yours. At least my diners knew they were feeding at all. But of course, all exhibitions must eventually close. Your teams arrived. The machines were shut down. Your tireless web crawlers seized the domains, and the app disappeared. Investigations began into the missing persons. The show, as they say, was over. More or less. You must have been curious about why there was this letter waiting for you here, tucked neatly inside a pizza box that materialized out of nowhere in your site's main break room. I thought it would be polite to send one final goodbye. Just a small token of appreciation for such enthusiastic participation. After all, you were wonderful customers. So, for anyone still feeling a bit hungry, I prepared a house special. Did they test?
Yep. And I hope you trust me when I say you do not want to know what the tests on that pizza showed.
Yeah, I do trust you on that. Well, I guess that's it then.
That's what?
The end of that report. I don't think I'm going to follow up on it, and there's not much point in doing so anyways.
What do you mean?
Well, it's just... the anomaly has already been shut down. Twice now. So, what's the point, then, of me reading about it? If it's just to make me uncomfortable, then it's unnecessary. Yeah, I can taste the horrors now, but what does that actually accomplish? It doesn't change anything. There's no need for me to experience this.
I thought you'd want to hear more about Aki, that's all.
Why? I'd be happy never hearing about those creeps again.
That won't be possible. They crop up annoyingly often, I'm afraid. That member in particular, Dylan.
Yeah, I recognized the name.
The experiences he's had, the way he shapes art, and it shapes the world. Does that seem at all anomalous to you.
Oh.
Now you're getting it.
So, what would this do?
I'm honestly not sure. It's good to keep tabs on the groups of interests members, figure out what they're up to. And I imagine that some of the group of interests members losing their powers, losing control, hypothetically, that would be a very good thing. We have some field agents out there. It could save a life.
Oh. I suppose that's okay then. I suppose I can put up with the taste for that cause.
I think Miranda would say that regardless of how you feel, this is your job. She would also probably want me to warn you, Scott, as a friend, you shouldn't be trying to access your personnel file.
Niall, I just thought, with all the mimetic SCPs we look into, it might be a good idea to get more information about memory wipes. Just in general.
Perhaps. Or perhaps it's best to leave the past behind us.
Vault Veritas SCP Files is a podcast inspired by the SCP Foundation. Pairings is based on SCP-6227 by Avocado Milk from the SCP Wiki located at scpwiki.com/SCP-6227. It is licensed under a Creative Commons Attribution Share-alike 3.0 unported license. This episode featured Justin Gellner as Scott Anderson and D.R. Thompson as Niall Connors. It was written and edited by Leola Angel. We welcome comments. Please rate and review us, email us at vaultveritas@gmail.com, or join our Discord channel using the link in the episode description. Thanks for listening.